Lara Trump, how are you?
Oh, well, good morning. I'm great. How are you?
Good to talk to you. Today's a big day, potentially, Lara. We got Kamala will probably announce her vice presidential pick. Who do you want it to be?
Well, I'm shocked that we're even discussing this right now. If you think back to 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago, life was very different. And quite frankly, Mike, it doesn't really matter who it is. We all know that this is not a play to get the best person in position to potentially be a vice president. This is about how you get to 270 for the Democrats. They've never actually cared about choosing the best leaders for this country, choosing people who are going to make life better for Americans. They want to win 270 electoral votes so that they can retain power. I mean, that's just the honest truth of it. A lot of people speculate that it's Josh Shapiro because it is being held in Philadelphia, this event that supposedly Kamala Harris and her running mate are going to come out together this evening. However, if you look back at the history, whenever a VP a running mate announcement has been made, the state in which the announcement is made has never been the home state of the person who is the running mate. So I don't know. Maybe there's some trickery going on here. Not that the Democrats would ever do any sleight of hand or trickery, Mike. We all know that.
No, of course not. How wild that the knock against Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, is that he's Jewish. And that could be a big problem for the Democratic Party. Whoa. Isn't that wild?
Where are we in this country? It's crazy. And to make him come out and basically apologize for his pro-Israel views, I hope that people are paying attention to what's going on right now. It wasn't that many days ago that we saw this crazy situation in Washington, D.C., where all of these monuments were desecrated, where you had a lot of pro-Hamas insignia put on these federal buildings and these monuments around D.C., the American flag, of course, taken down in Union Station and burned, and disgusting acts. But the idea that we're going to have potential leaders who are not going to be supportive of our closest Middle Eastern ally is wild. It's crazy stuff. It's scary. It's threatening to the stability of the world. And you've seen the way that the markets have reacted with just the mere idea that it could be Kamala Harris, who's at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue acting as our president. We saw that 1,000-point drop yesterday. That was really kind of wild stuff and crazy stuff. But it is reflective of the sentiments in this country right now. And everything seems unstable and destabilized and really headed in the wrong direction. So, yeah, not the least of which is the knock against a potential running mate for president or vice president that he's Jewish. I can't even fathom where we've come in this country.
On your road to 270 point, that could not be used as an attack against Trump picking JD. It's not like, we needed JD to win Ohio.
Right.
That's not it.
Yeah.
He just is the best person for the job. What do you make of this this attack on you that the Trump campaign and the RNC, you guys, you don't have your act together. You didn't know how to respond. You don't know how to attack Kamala. You let her have 2 weeks on her own to rebrand herself, and you weren't prepared, and you're on the defense now.
Well, what's
going on?
Yeah, we've been prepared for this for several months. Let's be really honest. But I think what people have noticed and what has been abundantly clear is that you have the machine now behind Kamala Harris. That machine shut down sometime around June 27th, if people recall. That's when Joe Biden really, sealed his fate with that debate against Donald Trump, because everybody said, oh, my gosh, there's no way this guy is going to win. That machine shut down. They allowed him to get ousted and this coup to happen to essentially move him from running for president to saying, in the span of, by the way, 40 hours, Joe Biden saying, I'm never dropping out. It'll take an act of God to get me out, to the ex-host that, of course, said, you know what, this isn't the right time for me anymore. I'm going to pass the torch on to Kamala Harris. That machine has ramped back up, and there is this effort to make Kamala Harris seem, number one, competent and able.
Can I jump in, Lara Trump? I apologize. CNN is now announcing who the vice presidential pick is.
Oh, go ahead.
Governor Tim Walz.
There you go. Okay. Well, they would
just as you said. What do you make of the governor of Minnesota?
Yeah. Well, they'd like to win Minnesota, obviously, and it's a state that is very much in play for Donald Trump. You may have noticed we added Minnesota to our map in the battleground states, which we had not previously had. We added Minnesota, we added Virginia not too long ago because Donald Trump was polling so well in that state. It is a state that Kamala Harris would need to win. in order to become the next president. They would really like to win Minnesota. And look, I think that you actually look at the fact that Walz has been incredibly progressive in his views. He's been extremely, you're going to have two extremes running as the Democrat ticket right now. Bernie Sanders has been a champion of his and really likes his views on things. So that tells you just about all you need to know about Walz. So let's see it. As I said, by the way, not from Pennsylvania. Look at that.
Yeah, that's unbelievable to do it in Josh Shapiro's like to shove it in his face by announcing the other guy. That's pretty wild. We actually randomly talked to Congressman Emmer from Minnesota, the majority whip, earlier, and he went off on Walz, like saying Walz. They like had a little bit of hope because he has kind of like this folksy Midwesty kind of thing. I don't know if Minnesota considers itself Midwest, but he has that. They think he has that like vibe that he can go toe to toe with JD and kind of neutralize that. But Emmer's like, no. This guy is as wacky as they come with all of this stuff. Abortion, environment, like you name it. He's out there.
Yeah, and actually, I will be in Minnesota this Thursday. We're doing an election integrity event, something that we are highly focused on from the RNC, which is making sure we have free, fair, and transparent elections. I think it is vital to the future of this country. So I'll be in Minnesota coming up Thursday this week. So let's see what the folks in Minnesota have to say about this pick. It really is kind of shocking that we've seen as much transpire. I was joking with the person who answered the phone whenever I called in. They said there's nothing to talk about. There's so much to talk about, and things change so rapidly. And I think there is an effort to kind of give people a little bit of whiplash. And like, you don't know where to look. You don't know how to focus. And so you're not going to be able to focus on who these people really are. Just you wait. We're going to expose not only Kamala Harris, but Walz for exactly who he is as well. And I think the American people are going to be terrified with the prospect of these two running the show at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We've got to keep them out of there.
Yeah. All right, 30 seconds. So what is most of your aim at? Is most of your focus on Walz, Kamala, or the Democratic Party when you're attacking? Like, do you go after Walz's record, or is he just the VP and doesn't really matter?
Well, I think it all matters. I think you have to go after both of their records. I mean, look at Kamala Harris, abysmal record, has nothing to show for as vice president except for failures, like as the borders are, as much as they don't want us to talk about that. You have to go after Walz, and as you point out, his incredibly radical views on things. That is frightening to the American people. And this is a party who has shown you can't trust them, the Democrats. I don't know how a single self-respecting American can vote for a party that has consistently lied to them. We got to expose them all and attack them all for the things that they have actually done. And unfortunately for them, and fortunately for us, they have made that very easy because, man, have they shown their hand and who they are straight to the American people.
Lara Trump, she's the co-chair of the Republican National Committee. We got to go, but what's the website?
The website is protectthevote.com, GOP.com, or DonaldJTrump.com. I know you won't forget it.